Our guest speaker today is a character we've all learned to love, a character we look for in the crowds, a character that brings smiles and laughter to everyone he comes in contact with. His birth name is Michael Baer, but everybody calls him Max. He grew up in Renton, Washington, and decided in the 8th grade he was going to become a Washington State University member and become a Coug. And what a Coug he has become, earning the best job on campus at the end of his freshman year. He became the WSU mascot known to all as Butch T. Cougar. As Butch, Max attended hundreds of events, including home sports competitions, campus tours, weddings, parades, grand openings, and birthday parties. He has traveled to football games and basketball tournaments. He appeared on ESPN commercials and in public service announcements. In his final year, through video footage and then in live competition in Disneyland, Max brought Butch, our then unranked mascot, to an impressive top 10 finish in the nation. In his human form, Max is a member of this graduating class, earning a Bachelor of Science in Economics. He is an avid martial artist, played a key role in opening the Martial Arts Training Academy in Pullman, and helped the head instructor train for a professional fight in Hong Kong. Please welcome Michael Baer, better known as Max, and even better known as Butch T. Cougar, as today's honored commencement speaker. Max.
Hello, Cougar Nation. How are you doing today? I still remember the first time I came to this campus. I pretty much already had my mind made up about which college I was going to attend, but my parents took me here just so I could be sure on a tour. During the drive from Western Washington, I felt a strange sense of deja vu. Not really like I had already been here, but I felt like I was coming home. And as soon as I stepped out of the car, I knew I would be a Coug. During my freshman year, I met a cheerleader, and she told me about a job she thought I might be interested in: mascot. It sounded so cool, but I had so many questions. You know, I had seen Butch on the big screen, running around starting a Go Cougs chant, and in the crowd a few times leading Jaws, but really, what does Butch the Cougar do? So the next time I went to a football game, I observed Butch in his natural habitat for a few minutes, and I found out exactly what he does. Butch does what he wants, when he wants. So I said, yeah, this might sound like something I might be interested in. On top of that, he had an arsenal of props at his disposal to pump the crowd out. Plus, he rode a sweet three-wheeler out to the 50-yard line at the beginning of every football game. His job was sounding better and better. Every year, near the end of basketball season, there are open tryouts to become Butch. Now, the tryouts consisted of a lot of charades, a little bit of dancing, and I guess I did okay because I was your Butch T. Cougar for the next 3 years. Yeah. I was now an official leader of Cougar Nation. I quickly found out that every mascot pretty much does the same thing. They mingle with fans, high-five everyone, maybe throw out a few t-shirts. But not every mascot has the same fan base that WSU has. The students, faculty, alumni, and fans made my job the best in the world. Cougar fans are the best in the world, and they're a great example of why this institution is home for all of us. I'd like to tell you about a typical Cougar fan. One of my first events was Coug Day at the Mariners. And as I was mingling with some fans on the upper level, an annoying husky came up and started pulling my tail. Now, when people pull my tail, it may be funny the first time, but definitely not the second, third, or seventh time. I kept telling him to stop, but he wouldn't. And then a Coug fan stood up and helped me out. This Coug fan was huge. Looked like a typical biker, I mean mustache and everything. He stood up and in a bellowing voice said, "Hey, you leave Butch alone right now." And I have never seen someone put their head down and walk back to their seat so quickly. And my dude stood up and just stood there and glared at the Husky until he sat down, turned to me and said, "I got your back, Butch." You can count on your friends and family to get you out of tight spots. The Coug Nation is family. We stick together. Okay, before today, did anyone know that there was a national competition for mascots? Honestly, I laughed when I first heard. Was it a competition of who could do the most one-handed push-ups, or maybe who could throw t-shirts the farthest? It's a little different than that. Universal Cheer Association ranks the top 25 mascots in the country, with the top 10 performing in Disney World. Then, I found out Butch was not ranked. How could that be possible? Butch is the best. WSU is the best. So every year, I worked hard on the entry video that determined Butch's ranking. During my second year, Butch was ranked 12th. But during my final year, I broke into the top 10. Butch was going to Disney World. Nationals presented a whole new set of challenges, including creating a 90-second skit with music, costume changes, and elaborate props. And trust me, there are 0 YouTube videos showing you how to build this kind of stuff. So after fall finals ended, I went to work. I worked 400 hours in a 30-day period. It was tough, but worth it. WSU was going to nationals. I made it to Orlando, assembled my props, and performed on the stage I had been dreaming of. I finished 8th, which is pretty good for Butch's first time to nationals, right? My identity was still a secret when I returned home, so I told no one, hid my trophy, and started to catch up on the work I missed from my spring classes. I didn't do it for the personal fame. I put my head down and I worked because I wanted to do something that Cougar Nation could be proud of. That was how I felt about my whole career as Butch. My identity was a complete secret, a WSU tradition. Butch is the personification of WSU's spirit. Butch is forever. Even the way Butch walks is passed down from mascot to mascot. If I have kids and they come to WSU, which they will, Butch will be exactly the same character as when I was here. And I'm glad my identity was a secret. I wanted people to say, "Did you see that cool thing Butch did?" instead of, "Did you see that cool thing Max did?" My friend Batman said it best. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. I was the same as generations of Cougars before me. It's not all about me, and it's not all about you. It's about us as members of larger organizations. Our greatest achievements may not come with personal recognition, and that's okay. If you work hard enough, the recognition will come, but fame should never be your first priority. At the end of my career, I was recognized. As part of senior recognition at the last home basketball game of the season, my family and I walked to half court as the announcer introduced me by name as I took my head off and revealed my true identity. As soon as my identity was public, I could no longer be Butch. Unveiling was a bittersweet moment. I was putting a part of my life behind me, closing a chapter, just like we are today. It was my retirement, but now I could join the Cougar Nation instead of lead it. Finally, for the first time in 3 years, I could be a fan. I was pumped up. Finally, I could sing the fight song, yell "Go Cougs," and scream my heart out when we score. Just because part of our life is ending doesn't mean the next part won't be just as good. We can always come back and reminisce. During my 3 years as Butch, I did some pretty cool things. Part of the gig was travel. I've been flown around the country for weddings, commercials, and recently the Country Music Association Awards. I've been to every Pac-12 school and a few others around the country, and I can tell you with complete certainty that we have something unique here. We have a camaraderie that can't really be explained. It's the same reason you all chose to attend WSU. And now it's time for all of us to continue that legacy of Cougar Nation. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to do something one last time. Thank you.